All right. All right. Maybe, just maybe, we're online. What do we want to do this morning? I don't have any plans. You know what we could do? You know what we could do? Depending on All right. So I have a couple things. We could do. We could, let me make a poll of this. All right. So what to do? Okay, so we could design, build, network, or we could generate generate photo to HTML to React. Okay, I can't type all those things, so I'm gonna have to abbreviate. HTML. Okay, so photo to HTML. It's not really to HTML. It's to React. So photo to React to Vue to reusable. So that's a PRVR. Completely understandable. All right. So yeah, we could start talking about what we're going to do for our network for Eddington and start designing that. Or we could try to do what we were going to do on the last day of the games and basically try to have Midjourney design us a picture, feed that into V0, get V0 to like replicate the picture, and then feed that into Copilot, and then see how Copilot versus Bard handles updating it. Let's do that. Let's do that. I was going to post a poll, but nobody's on to respond to the poll, so speak up if you are on and didn't want to do that. Midjourney to V0 to React to Vue to all right. Yeah, okay, I'm going to update the title and we'll do that. We'll call this AI game. All right. All right. So I just updated the titles. AI games, day 5, Midjourney to V0 to React to Vue. See if it's all reusable. And we'll specifically be testing out ChatGPT and Bard. See how Bard. I don't think. Did Cody get an upgrade this week? Okay. Do we want to also try this with Cody? I didn't. Let's also try it with Cody. It should be really simple because all we're going to be doing is using the chat feature to see if it can take the code that we're going to try to be generating with Midjourney and V0. So I'm happy to try Cody as well. I'll have to have a VS Code open though. That's fine. I don't know how else to interact with Cody. Now, interesting when you're talking about Cody here. I'm guessing you're just talking about here. I'll have to look up. Do you have a link to the update? People have been telling me that Bard is like way better, and every time I've used it, it's been way worse. So I thought I'd give Bard at least a shot. Just go to extensions. Oh, you're saying the updates in the extensions. Okay, I got it. It tells me a reload is. I just loaded it. I just loaded it. Okay. Is there release notes, built-in command? I did see that they did the swappable LLMs now, which is kind of pretty cool. I don't know. Every time we tried Anthropics, it wasn't that great. This did update. This did update quite a bit. Let's see. We have chats. What's wrong with this code? These are just kind of some of the same. Where do I... It used to be up in the corner where I could tell it which model I wanted to use. This is cool. Neural language search. So to like search your code base using standard language, I think that this is a cool idea. This right here. I think this is a fantastic idea. Like this is the type of stuff I think the current AI stuff is going to dominate at. Like not necessarily writing code, but this type of thing. I think the technology, like blockchain, has really useful things. I think people over jumped on what it was. Oh, generate unit test. We'll have to try this one. All right. Well, we'll give Cody a test. We'll give it a test as well. All right. Let me get Midjourney up. So the idea that I was gonna try to do today was basically this, because I thought it would be fun. Midjourney to V0 to Let's see. Midjourney to V0 to so V0 is going to produce React, and then I was thinking that instead of leaving it in React, we could convert it to Vue. And at some point, maybe we do both Vue and React here. We ask it to make it reusable. So when we're going to Vue or React, we want to ask the AI to make it reusable. This is what I was going to do on day 5 when my internet just kicked the bucket. So we can kind of just do this. I think this will be fun. Like, I don't know that this is like some of the other ones I was trying to actually be like experimental. This is just more of like, can it do it? Is this a useful way of using it? Maybe this is one of the useful ways of leveraging these. I don't know. I actually enjoyed taking the kind of garbage that V0 outputted and running it through the Cortex, the ChatGPT 4, and I enjoyed that. So I'm wondering if we can build a whole pipeline. Like, I almost feel like we could codify this in some way, except for V0 being kind of a crappy service. They have some of the worst terms of paying for it. I just some of the worst terms. But we'll all right. Let's see. I need to get Discord over here because that's how you interact with Midjourney. All right. So let's try. Russell, what should I try to make? What web thing should I try to make? Let me know, and I'll do it. I can tell you one thing that this won't do. Imagine a hash map index educational visualization educational 2D marker sketch. It won't do this. Make a secret manager. I just meant like a UI because specifically this type of all this stuff is going to be mostly UI stuff. So if you'd like to make a secret manager UI, that's great. Let's do that. If that's what you'd like to do. Let's my goal is to like try to get a process where the AIs will make the whole UI, or at least the majority of it. Yeah, this is the garbage that gets made for hash maps. So I was going to try to do this. I have been trying to have AIs help me with my animations. Like if they can give me the base pieces and I can like animate some of this stuff. So far it hasn't worked out. You ask them hash map and they do like these network graphs every single time. This is what they think of as a hash map. And like maybe, but no, this is not the educational visualization that I was asking for. Too much. One and simple. I even tried like simple. All right. Imagine, so we're going to create an advent calendar. Okay, sweet. Imagine a, not how you spell imagine, and I already did anyways. A UI, a advent calendar website with his... I don't know if I can do... Let's keep it simple for right now. Imagine an advent calendar website. Let's just start with that, see what we get. We can add some more to that prompt. The other thing I don't know, I don't continually pay for Midjourney. One thing that I'm not sure if they do is where like I can reprompt on the same image. I know like DALL-E and stuff do allow for that. If they would accept me, I would use DALL-E. I tried to get GPT-4, but it's okay because I do have confirmation that chat is on V4, so it's fine. Should be fine. A advent calendar website. This did not work very well. Okay, so let me try reprompting that. Imagine a website UI that is calendar UI that is designed just for Advent. Okay, so maybe I need to put some more things because it obviously missed that we were going for a UI. The last time that we did this, we did landing page, and it definitely knew what a landing page was. But this, we said a calendar website. And so maybe I wasn't specific. Like there might be some keywords. There's also the possibility that we could just rerun this one and it would get the right thing. Wait, did it give me... Okay. Now we're starting to cook here. I kind of like this one. I had to put the word UI in there, and that's fine. This one that just says website. Oh, maybe this is working now. If this is like the days, I don't know. I do kind of like this one, though. I think that this looks like a fun calendar to use. I know that if... I can guarantee you that if there was a website that my wife would pay for this. She enjoys her calendars. I think we could change these into websites, like these being the days of the week. But I definitely think that this nailed it a little bit more. All right, let's get a big picture of 2. Let's upscale that one. Let's upscale 1, 2, 1 and 4, 1 and 4. But let's not quite stop here. Let's see if we can't get something a little bit more unique. This is 2. Okay, I said 1 as well. What we'll do is when it upscales, we're going to ask for a very strong redo of this one. So basically it takes this one as like the input prompt, and it's going to try to stay in line with this, but make some variations based off of it. But we can go ahead and see how we can go ahead and take this copy link and see what V0 does with it while we're waiting on that. Do I have to download the image? Oh. I thought I might be able to give it a link, which would have been fantastic. Save image. Let's not just dump it in there. Let's make a folder called Advent. Try. No. I don't know why it starts searching when I'm saving. Try one. All right. Cool. Let's see. We got this one. This one's... I don't know everything on this UI. This is probably one of the biggest problems with this is like, what is this button? I don't know. But actually, now that I'm looking at this, what are these dates? I don't know that this is usable. It looks cool, but is this Friday, Saturday? This is Saturday and Friday. They just put random things at the top. I mean, I think that this could be usable because you could do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And you could just manually delete the extra row since we don't have 8-day weeks. And this extra row. You could just do that. That's fine. But then we also have this over here. Okay. Is this Thursday, Saturday, Friday, Monday, D-Day? That just popped up in there. I do know the website's Geeks for Geeks. I do. Now you've ruined it for me. You have ruined it for me. So thank you. Thanks for that. Okay, I thinking actually these are getting better. These are getting better. Let's upscale 2 and 4. Oh, maybe 1. Let's get those. And then we can pass one of these to V0 because I don't think what we downloaded is of any good. Let's see. This looks kind of fun. Yeah, let's just give one of these a try. You know what? Let's take this one. It looks not like a calendar. Never mind. Let's I just got to pick one now. I got to pick one. I got to pick one. I was thinking let's do that one. Yeah. Okay. We're going to do this one. We're going to try to massage it with other AIs. We'll see how that does. Okay, so let's save the image. We're going to save it at... Where'd my freaking folder go? Why doesn't it start with modified, like, in the right order? I don't know. Thank you for the follow. Dazo, my follow alerts are down right now. They're actually powered by AI. We wrote them live on stream. It's all in Rust. We actually have more to do on them. They're down because I completely redid my network. That's actually the other thing that we have to do today, if we get done with this and want to, is set up the Null Clouds network. I want to make a whole YouTube video on it, but I wanted to start thinking through the networking with you guys. And because I've redone the whole network, that portion of the network is down because it was running on, it runs on these. 1 second. It runs on these. These are just laptop motherboards that I 3D printed a little case for. Obviously, the top of the case isn't. I was vacuuming them out. But it just runs on these. And they're super power efficient, super quiet, pretty awesome. I enjoy the setup for a home lab. I think it's a fantastic home lab. But obviously, they're right here. I'm holding it. So that's the problem. Your alerts that are powered by AI, powered by my home lab, is in my hands. So that's not working. We have one of them's having a problem, and I'm trying to diagnose it, and we're trying to set up the network to be a little bit better. Let's go back to this. I want to make this try 2. Yeah. That's right. That's right. I'm trying to do all wireless, pure wireless, electricity over the air, wireless. What data center uses cables? I mean, please. This is the Null Cloud's going to be the futuristic data center. No cables, please. It's all wireless, wireless power, wireless internet. Not gonna hardwire stuff. Please, that's so inefficient. There's only a small chance when you're in the Null server rooms that you'll get cancer quickly. It's probably going to take a few days at least. All right. So let's give that one a shot. Advent, try 2. We didn't even try 1. Now, should we try to prompt this at all? I think one thing that we could always do with these when we have something like this is to actually like silo out things. Like we could open up something and cut just this out and ask it to make a button that is like this, which is maybe what we'll do after we try this. I'm not even going to prompt it. I'm just going to submit that. I think I have Krita. Let's see, GIMP. I think GIMP would be better at this specific task of cutting stuff out. But I don't know. Oh, this is like a floating window. Huh. I was like, where did my... Freak me out. Is this really what it generated? Is it really what it generated? This... When they don't give me unlimited generations and they make me pay, even when you have... so with this, it's okay for me. Because if you pay for it, you get unlimited access. So even if it gives you garbage, you can just ask it again. But with V0, one of their problems is even if you pay for it, you don't get unlimited generations. You only get a certain number. And if it gives you absolute garbage, all you can do is pay for more. Absolute garbage. Okay, let's try prompting it some then. We'll give it the same-ish prompt. A Advent-themed... yeah, this is a calendar. A calendar like this picture. I misspelled calendar. I misspelled calendar. My goodness. Is it really just going to give me buttons? Oh gosh. Oh gosh. 91. It just put some random numbers in here. Guys, this is coming for your job. I'm just warning you. This is it. This is now. To be honest, to be fair, I do think that it does better at little things. I think it does better at design me a button that looks like this. So that's what we're going to try to do. That's what we're going to try to do. To give it a shot. To give it a shot. Downloads, Advent, try. Yeah. So we're going to isolate. There's like a cropping tool in here somewhere. Are we on it? Yeah, we're on. We started on the crop tool. I think that's the only reason I ever. Which one of these buttons looks the nicest? I think maybe. Deep learning is very powerful. I agree. I'm not sure that it's coming for our jobs. Will it make it so that we're more productive? Hopefully. We've done a lot of things through the history of humans to make ourselves more productive. Look at the farming industry. We still have farmers. We have way fewer farmers per person than 1,000 years ago. And again, 1,000 years before that. We've made farmers way more productive every single year. We're going to do this right here. All right. Oh, no. I just want to export this. I just want to export as button. So that's the Deizo. That's like the thing is it's not. It's 100% not. And what we've captured is it's super impressive. It's like and I hate to compare it to blockchain, but it's like blockchain in the fact that like blockchain I think could actually be useful, but the problem is there's way too much hyperbole and like I don't know, fear spread about it. So like the actual useful aspects of it, I think are getting overlooked. And this is part of why I do these AI games. At this point, we've been doing them twice a year to understand the state of the union, what they're capable of, how to actually effectively leverage them. A button that looks like this. That button doesn't actually look like that. V0's hurting me. Mine is round. V0 is hurting me. Do I think that AI will be able to pass the Turing test? So the thing is, I don't love the Turing test as a de facto standard. So if you want to look at the Turing test, let's look at the Turing test. All right. So and I'm not saying that the Turing test is complete garbage, but the Turing test relies on something that is fallible. The Turing test relies on a human. The Turing test relies on this person, the examiner, to try to tell whether A or B is a human. And the problem with that is this is fallible. By definition, humans are fallible in that. So, you know, you could make this examiner my 8-year-old daughter, and probably ChatGPT would pass the Turing test for her. Okay? So now, who is the person that judges which one is which, and if they pass? So I don't love the Turing test. Again, I think that it's a fine, soft benchmark. That's fine. But I also don't think it's the end all be all. Will one pass this? Yeah. I mean, if you ask ChatGPT on the right day, I think it passes this. On the wrong day, it absolutely doesn't pass this. So like, I absolutely think this will. That doesn't mean that it's intelligent, though. It just means that it can fool somebody into replying in a way that it would fool a human into thinking that they were talking to another human. But again, also the problem with humans is they vary. Talking to me blindly is a lot different than talking to my daughter blindly, talking to my neighbor blindly, talking to my son blindly. Like, we all are very different. And so there's a huge range in human intelligence as well as just communication styles. I have a communication style. You have a communication style. I use my hands to talk. That's probably the Italian in me. That's that. It's. I also then have trouble speaking. English is hard. I should have learned Italian, like my grandmother wanted me to. Russell, that is the thing. The question is, do I work at a company where the non-technical people give me requirements that are complete? I think that if you could have every single requirement, every single thing covered in your requirements, every technical edge case, we would have AIs that could do it. But this is almost what I talk about. Okay, day zero. My example would be this. Do you program in assembly? Do you program in assembly? Or do you program in a higher level thing that does some loose interpretation, like JavaScript, that then gets loosely interpreted into something that then gets compiled to something the machine can run? Now, maybe these LLMs become that language. Maybe you and I learn to speak to Cody, whisper to Cody. Maybe we whisper to Code Whisperer. Maybe it's ChatGPT. Who knows? But it still means that there will need to be technical people that can understand and interpret those requests and build technical requirements from it for the LLM. That's at a best case. That's if these LLMs get way better than they currently are. In their current state, and I'm not just poking fun at any one of them, at their current state, that's not even the case. At the current state, the highest level acceptance rate is 30%. And that's not even a true acceptance rate. You know why that's not a true acceptance rate? Because if you're in here and type something like this, and you're in here typing, and you go like this, and do I have one of them turned on? I think I have them all turned off right now. Let me actually enable. No, I do have completion. All right, so let's go here, and let's say we get it to give me something. Okay, let's say this is 3/4 correct, and we go ahead and accept it, and then we come in here and edit it. We didn't want it to be organization. We wanted it to be Toro or something like that. The problem with this was counted as an acceptance. So your best coding AIs right now have a 30% acceptance rate, and you have to understand that, okay, this was also wrong, so we did it at 7. I think this still is a huge help. It's still effective, but that acceptance rate is actually still misleading because it's not. For it to replace us, it has to do this perfectly. It has to do this where you're not sitting there thinking, oh no, I didn't need a P, I needed a link or whatever. I hope that's the point. Oh, day 0, you subscribed. I thank you so much for subscribing. I'm now, I don't know if you were here for my speech when I was holding my cloud in my hand, my hardware for my cloud in my hands as it is down for the weekend as I was trying to make it better. you get an AI generated message with a follow and a subscribe. It's a better one with a subscribe. But it's not working because it's right here. Your AI generated messages right here. So I'm really sorry you didn't get that. I'll make it up to you. Oh, Dazo, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dazo. My AI would not have made that mistake. I did. Hopefully it will be back up by next week. Now, I have to, for everybody that is watching, I am off next week. I can't stream next week at all. So I have a business trip to be on. So I'm going to be on that business trip and be fully absorbed in that. I'll be working like 12-hour days. So next week, I have a video, my next video on database indexes that we'll be releasing for you all. That will be all for me that you'll get. The next week, week after that, though, I do have a bunch of stuff planned. So I'm going to be off. So I'm going to be streaming like 4 hours during the day, every single day. So thank you so much, Dazo. I could say lol, Dazo. That's a. I think I'll stick. All right, let's keep whispering. Let's keep whispering. Good rant though. Thanks for. This is why, Dazo, I think that it's very, very far off from replacing us. Making it so that there's fewer needed, like making it so that a company needs fewer engineers, that's a possibility. That's a possibility that if you said in 2-3 years they could get the technology where you could cut back from 10 front-end engineers to 5, I think that's a distinct possibility, and do the same amount of work is my thing. Now, I generally think that these companies have more work to do, especially the smaller ones. Maybe not the big ones, but the smaller ones, they have more work to do than they have engineers that they can afford. So I think that will be a boon to them. But yeah, let's see if we can't get a very strong redo of this one and get something that's a little nicer. This didn't turn out very well for V0. Did not like it. So we gotta try again. And obviously, I can't talk about tech that hasn't come out. I'm only talking about the stuff that I've seen. Now, I do believe if you're talking about new algorithms based off of quantum computers, it's very possible that we get something that's able to do a lot better than what we've done. Yes. I'm going to do this one because I'd love to make these elements. I'd like to cut them out and make those individual elements. I think that looks fun. So I absolutely think that you know there's possibilities other things are out there. I'm only talking about pre-trained generative transformer models, GPTs. GPTs specifically, I don't think is that. And I want to do something. Okay, we need to very subtle. We need to get like this to suck less, I think. Let's see if the very subtle button fixes it. State space models I find interesting. Is it state space models? That's not what it's called. Maybe it is. I was reading about some of that. I need to read more on them. It might be state space. I had a paper, but I was for some reason thinking it was something else, but it could just also be the paper that I was reading. Maybe this one has the buttons I like. Let's just do that one. All right, so let's do this. Let's do, let's click it, save image. We're going to put it here. Make button dot ping. We're going to jump over to here. We'll open it. And we're going to crop just to these buttons, but we're going to have all the buttons. And maybe this will help V0. I'm going to say like make buttons that look like these. We'll see. So do SSMs make them more efficient? Is that all that they do? Because I don't know that efficiency is the problem that... I mean, obviously, there is an efficiency problem. The more efficient, they cost a lot to run right now. But I don't know that that's the only problem that they are. Like, if you made them not cost a bunch to run, there's still a problem. Cost a bunch to run and train. Export. That's what I was looking for. The more times you can pass through the data, the more you can extract from it. I'm not sure. I feel like there's a point of diminishing returns, a point where... Okay, I want to love V0. Don't get me wrong. I want to love V0, but the icon is on the right on these, is on the left on these. These buttons are definitely like slightly rounded, but these are like just their standard button. Okay, this is better. This is better. All right, we'll just take this one and run with it. Put the icon on the right. Okay, I got it. I could just ask it to make it one button. I'm going to try to do that. Just one button. With a... I think that's another problem, though, Dezo. I think that's maybe... Okay, they just got rid of the text. But I guess I said with a Christmas tree. All right, you know, this is fine. We'll take this. We'll take this. It almost got there. I know that this is pretty far off of what you guys were hoping for. But we're going to stop with... We're going to stop with V0 because we're just going to see if we can't get some stuff out of it from Cody. So now we'll try the things that I was using with this and what I was trying to put together was for those of us that aren't great at UIs, could we leverage these things to help us make pretty looking UIs? And I think that this is like a cool start. Like, obviously it gave us some garbage where like it wasn't a calendar. But I think that it also gave you some cool ideas that you could like start with. So, also this was like melting like wax in some of them. It was kind of weird, but all right. Now my pipeline is this. They don't make these reusable. They don't like make them take props and stuff. And so what I wanted to see is if Cody will give us props. Cody. Where is just chat? Where did chat go? I mean, it's giving me these, but I just want oh, here's new chat box. Oh, it's over here. It's over here. What? Do we want to use the Anthropic? Let's do the Anthropic. All right. Can you make this reusable? Now, Cortex was able to do this for me pretty well, so we'll see. We'll delete this Vercel chunk. Don't want to confuse it. Another thing, Dezo, that we need to make sure of is quality content. Something when I was a pretty good athlete way back in the day. One thing that my coach that had one of the most impactful things on my life looked at me and said, Merrick, it's not about his like, don't take practice makes perfect. He's like, perfect practice makes perfect. So his statement was like, you have to have quality practice to make it better, and you have to strive for that. Each time of practice, you need to strive to make it better. And I think that we need to do that with code. Whenever we code, we should strive to learn from the past code that we've done. And I think that will apply to AIs. It won't be, at some point, it won't be quantity anymore. It will be the quality of code that was put in. Right now, I think that's actually hurting them, is that they also get bad code in when they are doing it. They're getting a lot of different code, and it's hard to actually even quantify what's good code and what's bad code. That's actually a really hard thing. A lot of people would disagree and argue. Okay, so they pass the icon and text in. This actually looks pretty good. We can actually put it in our little demo app and see. Yeah, no, I can't. Seth, I can't remember his last name. Seth, if you watch this, I have remembered that, and it's made a huge difference. Yeah, perfect practice makes perfect. And like, obviously you can't do perfect practice. Even then, when I was a kid, I realized that. But okay, this is a little weird because I want it to be in the sidebar. I have to have everything so large. Okay, we're gonna have to make everything smaller. Sorry. So I think at some point, the coding AI that will stand out will be the one that they look to condense and say, hey, we're going to pass the best code that we can find. Again, I think that's a very hard challenge because, like, what is the best code? It's hard. Day 5. New file button.tsx. This is the day 5 button, not the other button that we made. All right, it doesn't like some things here. Okay, I don't care about that. Okay, we are in TypeScript, so I'm giving this a pass. Wait, why don't you like any? Oh, wait. This can actually just be string. Wait. Why is it saying all destructive elements were unused? Binding element any implicitly has any. I don't know why it's... Oh, this is weird. Oh. Oh, okay, I see. This did not work quite as well as chat did. Let's give this a shot and see if it will do the same. I'll just do the... Can you make this reusable? Now, one thing that hurts Copilot here is it's going to take this function, this open file. Actually, let's close this. Let's close these because it will take those as input, unfortunately. I don't think that was not what I wanted. Okay, let's close that. Let's start a new chat. All right, come on. Can you make this reusable? So this one's actually doing the tree icon instead of Cody cut off the tree icon. I need to make this so that I can not switch back between sizes. It's a little bit annoying for you guys, I'm sure. And then these are going to be, yeah, Annie. Wait, let's see if Cody can fix this. Let's see if Cody can fix this. Chat. Ask Cody a question. What is wrong with this? Okay, that didn't quite do it. Let's see if Copilot can do it. What is wrong with this? Come on. It's a TypeScript file. It's TSX, so it should know that it's TSS. Failure. Failure. This is Annie. How do I make it Annie in TypeScript? So this is, didn't this work last time? Didn't last time we get to, okay, let's actually ask ChatGPT. Actually, let's ask Bard. We've never done Bard recently. We did Bard like 6 months ago and it was terrible. Can you make this reusable TypeScript? I'm going to just ask it to be TypeScript. Let's help it out by, yeah, okay, that looks good. Okay, so they have children and icon. Wait, what's the children? Oh dear. Okay, at least it typed it, but I'm not entirely sure what this did. I don't know. I don't know that this did what we wanted it to do. Well, we can give it a try. I don't think this will compile, though. Okay, now this is cool. I just copied it, and it gave me the sources. I guess these were the two sources it used. That's cool. It's a little annoying. Oh, I accidentally copied too much. I should have hit this. I was going to say it's a little annoying that I got all of that. All right, wait. Does it compile? It does compile. Let's use it then. Let's leverage it. We had a landing page, didn't we? Let's just hit that landing page. Let's throw a button on here. Let's actually just change this button to day 5. Oh, no. I don't know how to undo anymore. I've used Vim too much. Oh, it's Control-Z. I'm such an idiot. I knew that. What was this named? What was this named? Day 5 button. Day 5 button. Component. Let's name this day 5 button. There we go. Just for a little sanity. I've been using Vim quite a bit on stream, so I was just trying to do the Vim motion for it. All right, so we'll do. Let's see. This will be. Did I? No, I already did. Never mind. Day 5 button from. Will the AI know where it is? Nice. Nice. All right, and then we're just gonna slap the day 5 button in here somewhere. Right here looks beautiful. We'll just throw it in here. I don't really remember where this was. And it's already giving us something to type in here. Perfect. Let's run this. Let's run it and see. All right, so another thing is I'm going to be taking a break, but I start again at 4:30. I'll post a link to that. So we're going to follow up with our discussion on CAP. Yes, Thursday, I talked lightly about what CAP was, although I'm not sure I did a good job. I wanted to emphasize the different components of CAP, but I'm not sure people would have walked away from that if they didn't know what CAP was with a firm understanding of what CAP was. I maybe went a little too technical with the linearizability. I thought people would ask questions. Nobody asked questions. And so it was impossible for me to follow up with people's questions, which then made me breeze through it. Tonight, we're going to talk about why you need to move beyond CAP. If you want to talk about distributed systems, we're going to talk about why you need to move beyond cap, and why cap doesn't really describe your system very well. Again, I have huge respect for the work. I don't know the people personally or their private lives, but for the work Eric Browser has done in that area. So obviously not critiquing his work. Just in modern distributed systems, you kind of need to move beyond that. Where is this? Where is this? Oh, yes. I think it was landing page. Maybe it was dashboard. Okay. Maybe that's not where we put it, though. Where did we put it? We put it on landing page. Okay, yeah, it was landing page. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's throw it in dashboard. Let's throw it in dashboard. I don't think this is the problem, is this? Is this the problem? I don't think it is. Yeah, it's complaining about... Oh. It's complaining about our import. Why is it complaining about our import? Wait. It says there's no day 5 button. Export day 5 button. Good, sir. I do too. Wait. Let's see. Did I mean to import? Oh. My bad. That was my bad. Look at that. We got a button. It did work. It's kind of just stuck there. Oh, wait. You guys can't see it. 1 second. Here you go. It's kind of just stuck there in the corner, but it got there. So, my problem, and Russell, I think you mentioned this. I don't think that saved us any time to make that button. I think the only useful thing that I got out of this, 2 useful things. I'm not a creative person, so this would have helped me just get an idea of how I might lay out the page or something like that. So like having something like this and being like, yeah, let me recreate this. But as far as making that button, I don't know that it helped. And the thing is, it won't create this page for me. Like also making this layout, I would struggle with the CSS or Tailwind to create this layout, like the whole page layout. I think if they could do that, that would be helpful. But it doesn't. It doesn't even make the button perfectly without prompting it quite a bit. And then as far as the code goes, it wrote this. The only thing useful here was this tree icon. I would never have done this tree icon. I would never have done this path. Hands down. This is the most useful thing I got out of this, was this tree icon. It's a pretty sweet tree icon too. I mean, look at it. Funny enough, though, it's not just a Christmas tree. It's like the classic pine tree and then another little tree. Not quite the tree that I want, but like, I don't know. I think you're right, though. I don't know. I'm just not convinced that this actually is worth it today. Yes, you're right. That icon 100% can be stolen without any attribution. Because they forced us all to be public. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you know what? I give you my permission. I mean, it's all in my open source repo anyways. So go for it. If you want this tree, I'm giving it freely. Yes, Russell. I had high hopes for V0. I think that in its current form, for the pricing that they want, and like, I know that I harp on the pricing, but I think the pricing is really bad. I think the pricing is really bad. So one of the reasons is for $20 a month, you don't get unlimited generations. You get 5,000 credits. And the reason this is bad is generative AI kind of by definition is pretty bad. It's kind of designed to do bad things and let you manipulate it and prompt it over and over again to get what you want. And they charge you for this. So they actually almost have a reason to make it so that you can't get your thing in the first prompt that you want. Like, they actually have a reason to make it where you have to prompt it 2 or 3 times. Like when it put the icon on the left instead of the right, you would be tempted. Now, in theory, you should switch that manually because it's going to cost you, and like it's easy enough to flip. The other really bad thing is that it costs $20 to get 5,000. Did they fix it? No, they didn't. So your first 5,000 credits cost you $20. $20, and you get 5,000 in private generations. To get 5,000 more credits, you'd have to spend $40. The price doubles for more usage. Usually you get a discount the more you leverage. You know, you'd at least pay the same price, at least 5,000 credits for $20. But no, they double the price for more usage. I've tweeted at them. I have emailed them. They will not respond to me on this, but I think that this is maybe the most hot garbage I have seen in a long time. The fact that they would have the audacity to double the price for more usage. Generate limitless. The only person that could generate limitless interfaces is Elon Musk. The only person. Yep. The same, Russell. If this was perfectly free as like a demo, I would 100% agree with you. But if you're going to charge me $20 for, let's see, divide this by 30. So I'm not going to do math live. You're talking about 166 generations. And they're notoriously bad generations too. It's a hard sell. It's a hard sell. Very hard sell. I'll use my 200 credits a month, which is not very many. All right. All right. The other thing. All right. Do we want to test anything else with these? I'm actually impressed with Bard. The last time I used Bard, this printed really weird in here, but it actually was correct. I was unsure that this was going to work because of how it printed out here, but this is just the formatting in their website, I think. So it actually worked. So cool. When they actually get a coding assistant out that I can leverage, I'll look forward to leveraging it. So far, they don't have one. So not that you can actively leverage. They have one, supposedly, that does amazing things, supposedly, but they don't let other people touch it and test it. So until they do, we just have to take their word that it wasn't, smoke and mirrors. You know what? Everybody's like shocked that it was staged. And my thing is, there are two types of technical demos. There are the first type where everything goes smoothly. And there's a second type where everything is a disaster. The first one is always staged, almost always staged. Even Apple has been caught with stage. So if you think that this isn't a common occurrence, when you're in front of a billion people, you stage the stupid demo. That is quite possibly the worst thing to do with like a generative AI, especially. The thing is supposed to generate stuff, which means it could generate anything, and you don't want to do that live because maybe it's a 1 in a trillion chance that it generates something offensive. But do you want it to 1 in a trillion chance generate something super offensive on you? And I mean, that's super unlikely. Like that the possibility of that happening is very low, but like it's still a possibility. So yeah, it was staged. I could have told you it was staged. If people wanted to know, I could have told them that it was staged. You don't get beautiful demos that aren't staged. That's just how it works. I don't like staged demos. I'm not defending them. But if you don't want them, you have to be willing to support garbage that fails. I'll take an example. The Cybertruck was a good one. They smashed the windows of that truck in. That is a not staged demo. That is crap goes wrong. And we just smashed the trucks of our windows in. That is a real demo. But they don't go well. Okay, so even in my engineering groups, I encourage recorded demos. Because they're more streamlined, for one, and if we're trying to not waste time, that's great. And two, it's demoralizing for engineers when they've worked hard on something and one little thing goes wrong and they're like, oh, let me fix that. And like, of course, they're not done with the thing. They're just giving a demo of what it could do and possibilities and whatnot. So like, record that. Just record it. It's fine. Everybody understands it's a recording. People can ask questions. When it's a production-ready thing, we'll expect more out of it. When it's a tech demo internally, it's a tech demo internally. Record it. Staging a demo is fine, but making the demo look like it's doing things that the product doesn't do is the issue, isn't it? Is it? So I don't know, Russell. I don't know enough because a lot of it's surrounded by rumors. And unfortunately, I won't do the news tomorrow, but because I will be flying. But I don't know if it didn't do. I will cover it next week in the news. We'll cover a little bit of it. Is it that it doesn't do it or it doesn't do it in real time? So the demo kind of implied that it did it in real time. And my understanding is that it takes like 20 minutes or something to do what it did in real time. But again, in a demo, you don't sit there and wait. And now maybe you could argue that they should have said 20 minutes later. But I think their goal is to make it instantaneous, real time or near line. Maybe not real time, but near line. I think So yeah, I don't know. But I don't know if it doesn't do it. Like I'm saying, we're going off a lot of rumors. Google hasn't said that they don't do those things. So I don't know if it doesn't do the things or if it doesn't do it in real time or nearline. Those are maybe a lot of the open-ended questions that are out there. I think there's a lot more questions than there is any hard fact on it. But I would agree. If you make the demo look like it's doing things that the product doesn't do, that would be an issue. If that is proven, that is a terrible thing. That is a terrible thing, and I'm not defending that in any way, shape, or form. If I think there's a grayish area, not for me. So this is a weird thing. For me, I wouldn't do it. If it doesn't do it now, I don't demo it. If you don't want to do it, don't demo it. Like if it doesn't do it now, don't demo it. Or you state something like, in the future, we should be able to do this in real time. You do that, and that's great. Every other tech company also does this, so I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I also have morals, and thus I don't have a large company. Scruples? Morals? I don't know. Call it whatever you want. All right. Let's get rid of this. Let's put this back over here where it belongs. Let's get rid of this. Thank you. Discard changes. We don't need them. All right. Awesome. All right. So do you guys want to play around with AIs a little bit more? I don't know that I really need to. I have enough to make a video, and I'm going to make a video in January on it because I have enough content to do a state of the union of AI and maybe how to leverage it a little bit more effectively. Some of the things it can do, like this, I think is pretty cool, especially for people that can't do it. I don't know that people that write a bunch of React are going to be able to do this way faster than using the AIs. I don't know that you could even program out a pipeline to leverage those to make this faster. Yeah, I just don't know. The other thing that we have is I was gonna say, and the worst part is I can't actually get the Bard stuff that they said. That's the other thing that I hate about technical demos. If it was me, if I was in charge of it, and I know that they're trying to get out ahead, but the thing is, if I can't touch it, to me it doesn't exist. So if they demo something but say you can't touch it, in my mind that's saying it doesn't exist. It is not a real thing. That's the way I think companies say this isn't a real demo, this isn't a real product yet, is because they demo it and they're not shipping it. So if it's a real product, you ship it. If it's not a real product, you don't ship it. They didn't ship it. There's no way for me to get it. This is not the new Gemini 2. This is not that. I mean, it's obviously improved. And maybe some of the, I do believe some of the Bard is now leveraging Gemini 2, but this isn't the full experience, and this isn't their coding thing either, because they're supposedly working on a coding thing. So until you ship it, it's not an actual product. It's just a fluffy demo. I do like my sad AI. I do love my sad AI. I think he turned out really well. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the other thing that we have to do is our network. We've had a network, and I kind of wanted to design it a little bit better, because we're going to run the Null Cloud on this. as well as my home network is off the same thing. So what I wanted to do was think about it just a little bit. I had separated my IoT network. So basically, at my house there was 3 networks. 3 networks that all look kind of like this. There was, because there's not anymore. There was the Null Cloud. This was the only one with public-facing internet, or publicly accessible. There was the home network. Another key point here, could not access other networks. This was important to me. This one couldn't access other networks, the same as this one. So this is my IoT network. And it also could not access other networks. And my home network, the one that everything runs on, could access all networks. I want to make some changes to this. So this is how it was effectively. So internet could come in here. Obviously, all of these could access internet, but the standard, not incoming traffic. And then we tried to reasonably protect these 2 networks from this network by disallowing this. The same as this one. Now, I think that if I'm going to give anybody networking advice, and I'm not, I've done a lot of networking, but I'm not like the big networker. Everybody should put IoT network devices for security reasons on its own network, period. That doesn't have access to the other network. Just do this. It's a little annoying because it can't find your phone, but that's fine. The nice thing about this is you put all your IoT on it, they can all find each other. So you can still use your smart thing to control your TV because they're on the same network. Now, I don't like listening devices in my house, so maybe I'm a little bit more paranoid than others, but you can still make all of that stuff work, and your phone can still control all of those things because your phone can still access this network and discover all the devices. So you can make that work smoothly. Now, what I'd like to do here is I'd like to make this 4 networks. You know what? Don't do that. We'll just select this one, paste it over here. And I want to make this a work network. I work from home, and I'd like these machines to have a better quality of service so that my family can use the internet without worrying about impacting me. Especially since my internet at this point is kind of crappy. So what we'd like to do is have quality of service, priority. The Null Cloud is also going to have quality of service priority. And then the home network is going to have low. And so is the IoT network. And these are going to be high. Height priority. So I think this is how I want to do it. The work network should also have all access to all the other networks. So basically, the only difference between these two is going to be the quality of service. Obviously, also, you know what? We're actually going to have another network. This is getting a little confusing. I always have a guest network. Guests can connect to it. They can put their it is password protected. I don't have a guest network that isn't password protected. It has a simple password. And no access to all the other stuff. So we don't want a guest network to be able to access the null cloud or vice versa. In a real scenario, this should be on different physical hardware. It should be on different physical hardware. Now, the thing is, it's kind of. So what we're going to do is I actually have a switch that is going to be just null cloud, which is pretty cool. So the only thing that actually shares any traffic is the internet route, that link there when it hits the router. So that's the only place any shared traffic is going to be. Again, not perfect. In theory, the null cloud should have its own internet access. It doesn't, but in theory it should. And then these could all be on their own. But yeah, so anyways, I think this is what we're going to do. And I have Ubiquiti equipment, so we can just go ahead and I'm going to have to cone of silence you all to get into it. But we can set this up and do a little networking. This is actually why the null cloud is down right now. All right. So let's jump over to our network. I think, hopefully I don't have to reset anything after this, so you guys can just see my network. One second, let me turn dark mode on before I blind you, because Ubiquiti likes to likes their light mode. They do like their light mode, but I know there's a dark mode because I have set this up before. Dark. They have a dark web blocker. That is not what I wanted. Dark mode. Dark mode. Do we have a... There is a dark mode somewhere. I was trying to save your guys' eyes. I was doing it for you guys. Now, I'm not such a Unity expert that I can do this through the command line. I know what I want, and I know how to do it via the UI. I probably should learn the command line for Unity, but I don't. Where is their dark mode? Give me... let me Google this. I thought it was going to be really simple. Okay, I don't have this. See this? I don't have this. Now, I did get a new router device, and so maybe, you know, I don't have that 3 dot up here on my network. And none of these have a dark mode. And if we go into settings to like add networks, there is no like dark mode. There is right here. My goodness. My goodness, I found it. I found it. I found it. Sorry about that. All right, let's do this. Networks. All right, so we need a guest network. Should we make the network IPv6? Okay, no. I think this is good. You know what? The one thing that we didn't talk about here was IP ranges. So originally, the null cloud was on the 10 dot. So the null cloud got everything 10 dot. I think this is probably fine. I think this is probably fine. I hadn't thought about this very much, but maybe I need to. Since we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? We're going to have 5. I'm not going to think about it too much. The idea was that this was going to consume the whole 10 dot because it could. And, you know, in theory, to be a large data center. If we break this into the 192, let's see. Yeah, this is fine because we could do like 1.x, 2.x, 3.x, 4.x. You know, the 192.168.1.x, .2.x, .3.x, .4.x. And that should give us plenty, you know, this would get us, what, 250 devices for each one of these. Should be more than enough IP ranges. Let's just run with that way. All right, let's do that. We're going to give guest network VLAN 20. Guest hotspot profile will automatically be added to this guest network collect. Yeah, so this is going to be a isolated network, 100%. So will our null cloud one. So basically, what we're trying to do here is allow good communication. We want this to communicate here. We want this one to be able to communicate here. We want this one to communicate to here. This one to communicate here. We want this one and this one to have the same rules, basically. But then we don't want this one or any of these other ones. They shouldn't be able to communicate to any other. They should all be isolated in their little domain. So that's what we're looking for. So let's see. I think this will be good. And our guest IP range, I think we should... Actually, maybe we'll just let this auto scale it. So right now it's doing kind of what I wanted, except in the wrong host address. I wonder if we can do this. Can we do this? Like, can we do 5? Net mask of 24, and then click auto scale is going to take it back to 2. We'll come back. I like the auto scale just in case you have more than 254 usable things. But we'll see. We'll see. Now, this default one is actually what I just set up so that I would have internet. So let's do this as a work network. We won't need auto scaling. We'll put all the work stuff on one. That will be great. Won't need isolation. That will be a good start. Then we have home. This is going to be the default. Never mind. We don't need that. We already have the default. Let's see. What are we doing now? We did home network, work network, IoT. We need our IoT. IoT. We'll let this auto scale as well, just in case. We will do network isolation for it. And the VLAN is going to be... What did I set the VLAN? I think I set it for 20, so I'm going to do like 21. Let's actually document these. That's the other thing that we need to do is document. Oops. VLAN. So what VLANs allow you to do is that network isolation, because basically the switches and whatnot, if you guys aren't familiar, these are basically a virtual LAN, a virtual network, that those physical cables, and basically allows you to say like, hey, this traffic doesn't go to this VLAN at all. Or like it will allow me to say is this switch only gets traffic that goes to the null clouds VLAN. So as long as I define it a VLAN, I can limit that switch to only ever having that network on it, which is going to allow me to actually physically separate them out because I'll make the link to the switch that runs the null cloud have only the VLAN for the null cloud, which is pretty cool. We should have a fun VLAN number, though. I wonder if it allows me to go up to 1337. That would be fantastic. We'll see. Let's try that. Let's actually try that. We'll try it. So VLAN for the home network will be 1. VLAN for the work. VLAN for the work is going to be 2. And then VLAN for IoT will be 21. We'll put this in the Obsidian document for the null cloud. This one equals 20. And then can I null cloud manual network isolation VLAN. Can we 1337? That is the most elite VLAN ID ever. I'm not sure if there's a limit. Like, I don't know. There could be like, it could be like a U8. Like, I don't know that this is actually valid. Like, do they? It's a pretty stupid VLAN number, but I like it. All right. Let's see. Internet source. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Just leaked my IP address. Don't DDoS me. All right. I will eternally. Don't DDoS me. Perfect. Perfect. I knew that was going to happen. I will call them and get them to change it. It's actually a big pain to change your IP address if you have a static IP address. Just saying. All right. I think we're good there. Oh, we need to, instead of auto scale the network, we need to actually put this as 10 dot addresses. So let's do that. So I'm going to change that to none so I can share my screen. Pretend you've never seen my IP address. This is 10 dot 0.0.0. And I guess they want an actual 1 here. There we go, because that's the gate. This is the host address. And then we can actually just do this as just the first 8, right? That gives us a data center with a bunch. Okay, so maybe that's too much. Maybe we just give the null cloud 16. It's still a crap ton. We're going to do a 16. In theory, we're going to split this network into a couple different networks. So like there's going to be a control plane network. And the control plane is basically the stuff that I run. And then the stuff that other people run should run in a data plane network. That actually should be separated out as well. So basically, your stuff should never be able to access my stuff. I should be able to access this, but the data plane should not be able to access back. This should not happen. So that's kind of how we'll do this section here, or that's the idea behind it. So now, but we're gonna have to do that all virtually because I don't have the machines. I don't have the number of machines to physically separate all of that. So we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to do that later, or virtually. We're not gonna be able to. I can't do like a pure separation like it should be. In theory, these should be on their own switches, and this should be on their own switches, and the router should, be the one that keeps those switches separated. Right now, the data plane and the control plane run together. In theory, this would be its own Kubernetes cluster, like its own cluster, and this would be its own cluster. But again, it all runs in one cluster right now, so I can't actually do the physical. And we'll go to beta with it this way. It's fine. It's not as secure. It's probably just as secure as a lot of people's. All right, cool. We're gonna add that. I'll go back and add the IP address later. And look at that. That is such an elite VLAN. Okay, I'm excited about that. Wow, that was not awesome. All right. So this will be our network. Now we've done isolation on, wait, did this have isolation? Did it? Yes. We have isolation on the null cloud. Now, the thing that you can do is you can actually go through traffic roles and do the actual firewalling. And we'll have to do some of this because we have to actually port forward into our gosh dang it, into our network. So basically, when traffic is coming in, it hits our firewall. And then it's going to get to our router. like this. And when it hits our router, basically what our router can do, all of these things are going to the router, obviously, that allow it to go to that outside web. The router will dump it here. So how I've done this is in this network, this actually dumps to a HA setup of HA proxy. So basically, HA proxy sits on two little Raspberry Pis that forward it on into the cluster. That's kind of my high available way right now to forward it onto the servers without actually buying real servers to do the forwarding and get traffic from the outside world out here into the network. Do people like seeing this, or is this just super boring? Because we don't have to do this. I'm going to make a video on the network and the whole design for people, and I've just done a lot of the stuff that I was going to do on videos on here, but I didn't know if people were interested in it or not. Maybe not. And if you're not, we'll So with the port forwarding, you can actually limit it, like where it can come from, and then you can just forward it to which IPs on which ports, where you forward it to. So this we can do like 80. So we're doing the web, and this would be like insecure. And then what you want to do on this and you can do this a couple different ways, but basically what you'll want to do is you'll want to upgrade it to 443. You'll want to have it upgrade to 443. So basically what happens is when it hits the HA proxy should just send an upgrade request back, because I don't want anybody to use not HTTPS. And so we'll make two different port forwarding routes. So this would be the insecure, which would be port 80. And yeah, I don't know the last one. Now this is an upgraded. I got the Dream Machine. Yeah, it's an upgraded from my last one. I don't know if it allows me to do the upgrade here, because some will actually allow you to do the upgrade here. So this would be like 10.0. Our control plane will probably be on the 10 space, or we can do it on the 0 space. Let's say our HA proxies are 10 and 11. So we'll just forward it to 10, and the forward port will also be on 80. And then you can add, one for secure. Or TLS. 443. Uh, 10.0.0.10. That's what we did, right? I'll have to go back. I got to document all of this. And then our forward port will be 443 still. Yeah. Cool. So basically now there's nothing at 10.0.0.10, but that's where HA proxy would be. And that's how we get communication in. So now you can go to my leaked IP address and send stuff to my HA proxy. I think the really cool thing that we do here is where we actually do the handshake with Cloudflare. So you can actually just send your information to Cloudflare and they actually hide my IP address. I think that's pretty awesome. Okay. So then the other thing is that you have routing and routing traffic. So this is pretty cool. And I actually leverage this a decent amount for making my demos. So whenever I do like Kubernetes cluster where I do like actual physical VMs, I actually do static routes in the router, so that you can hit the virtual network that KVM and is making. So we're not going to make any right now, but that's actually really useful. I find it super useful. Okay, IoT, was this? Yes, network isolated. And when you do this network isolated, you can actually go and do the actual traffic rules that you want. So for which VLAN, which things do you want them to do? I'm not going to do that right now. Actually, the isolated is pretty good. Work does not isolated. Guest is isolated. Yes, yes, yes. And default is not isolated. Cool. Okay. So default is the home, just the general home. Now what we need to do is quality of service, which I've actually never done in Ubiquity before. So I assume that we can do it by VLAN. Now, I did what I was going to say. Let's look at these devices. So you can look at the unified devices. And we're going to make this device only be null cloud stuff. And so basically what you can do is, this is the uplink here that you can see here. And we can actually configure that uplink, this port manager here. We can configure this uplink to only be the VLAN that we want. So if we only want this to be the null cloud, this uplink will only handle VLAN 1337. So 1337 is the only network traffic that's allowed on this one now when we apply the changes. I don't know what's plugged into that port, so I'm not going to do this right now because that could break the stream depending on what's plugged into that port. So I gotta validate it. But that's how we're going to manage the VLANs with this. Is we're going to basically just assign this uplink that goes to the router to be that, which is pretty cool. And you can see this in the topology. This is the server. My computer's plugged in directly to it. It's called Monstrosity because I built it and it was pretty ugly. But this is the null cloud, the null clouds switch, and this is my home switch. Everything in the home is based off of this, so I don't even know that I need this anymore. So yeah. All right. Let's go back to settings here. We want to do quality of service. I believe that would be in routing. Let's do QO. I don't know how to do quality of service. I was thinking it would be, let's see. Where does Unify do quality of service? This is a new UI. Let's see. Profiles, Wi-Fi speed limit. Whew. One second, I don't know what this menu is going to be. My smart cues. Smart queues is a type of quality of service, prioritizes traffic and reduces delays when the router becomes overloaded. So this is on my, I can't show it because it's on my WAN connection. This would be not advisable for me to show. Although I already leaked the IP address, but there's other stuff here as well. I'm going to have to go search it. We're done with that. I don't know. I'm going to have to Google it. These smart cues don't quite seem to be. It's like them trying to do it automatically. I don't want it automatically. I also know that they have like advanced menus that maybe I'm just not, the search isn't going through. I was hoping that it would. They changed the menu system on me since I guess I was on an old version. I was on a very old version. It was not like this at all. Yep. I'm gonna have to. Anyways, that's the network. What are you guys' thoughts on it? All right, I'm going to get going. I know it was a shorter stream. I didn't have a whole lot planned for today because I do have the other thing tonight. So I will be streaming again tonight. We're going to do basically why you need to move beyond CAP. If you had questions about CAP, if you watched the last one and had a few questions, I realized that I didn't do a very good job of explaining CAP from the ground up and why, you can't have both. I just kind of said that you can't have both. And probably pretty much everybody knew that. And I focused probably a little too much on like what it means to be linearizable for your data and your reads, and maybe not enough on why that was important, or why I could have worked on more on the proof that they follow up on for Brewer's conjecture that basically went through and proved that you couldn't have linearizable reads and availability in the form of a network partition, or in the event of a network partition. I don't know what people would like. Please ask your questions and let me know your feedback on that. I would like to make some videos on it, but I think maybe I need to start with very, very simply, what is CAP at all? And what does it try to prove? Maybe I didn't cover that very well, but come on tonight. Oh, let me give you guys a link. Let me give you any time zone. Let me get you guys a link. So that will happen tonight at 4:30. I expect it to last for about an hour, unless there's a lot of questions. I have 2 hours of time blocked away, so please come with any questions that you could have. We're going to talk about, I love CAP, what Brewer did, and I think that it's really important to understand, but I also think that we need to think about CAP a little bit better. Also, the reason this is so important to me, I think that the terms AP and CP are completely misunderstood. I think many people would argue that a lot of systems that claim to be CP aren't actually CP and they're just P. The same with AP, because of what I was trying to prove Thursday about the linearizable reads. You can have strongly consistent systems that don't actually have linearizable reads. And so technically, by Brewer's conjecture, they're only P. They're only network partition tolerant. So anyways, I say all that. Join me tonight. We're going to talk about the different things that you need to look into, the different ideas. I bring a lot of the stuff that I've learned from. So if you don't want to take my word and read from much smarter individuals than me, I put all of that into chat so that you guys can, whenever we talk about one of the topics, you guys can go and do your own reading. And also, next week, I'm out tomorrow until Saturday. But next week, we will be giving away... You know what? Let me go get you the books. If you want to get smarter at distributed design, I am going to be giving away in 1 week's time Designing Data-Intensive Algorithms by Martin Kleppmann. An amazing book. I think this is a must-read for just about anybody. We'll be giving this away. Grokking Algorithms. It's a pretty good book. This is for the newer people. The Designing Data-Intensive Applications is really in-depth, probably more for your mid to senior engineers. Maybe a junior engineer, maybe. And then also the Introduction to Algorithms, 4th edition. It's a fantastic book. If you guys haven't read it, it's like 1,000 pages, maybe longer. It can also be used as a self-defense device. It's a massive book. So if you are looking to learn in 1 week's time, we're going to be streaming. We're going to have some fun. I have some fun little things for us to do. So there's some fun things for you guys to do. Those things are going to be just some challenges, hopefully to get chat involved a little bit. So hopefully enough of you guys come join in to get that. But for the educational books, I'm just going to ask that people that actually want to read those books and don't have access to them sign up for those so that we get them in the hands of people that actually want to read them. So anyhow, join me tonight. We're going to be talking about CAP next week, or in a week, not next week, but in a week. We'll be talking about consensus and doing more with distributed design, and then eventually be giving away some books and stuff that are fantastic. I cannot... Designing Data-Intensive Applications maybe is my most favorite book ever. Maybe my most favorite book ever. So anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I hope to see you guys next week. I hope to see you guys tonight. And I will talk to you guys later.